Good afternoon, HCC students. Once again, we would like to thank you for joining us for our life hacking event today. We have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Jane Chrysler, and just to tell you a little bit about Miss Chrysler is an associate certified coach. She's also part of the International Coaches Federation. She's a core essentials graduate, also a certified corporate trainer, as well as a professional in human resources. Jane Chrysler is a career strategist and coach with strong executive recruiting background. She aids in the development of an optimized LinkedIn profile. Through tactical discussions, Jane works with clients to build an accomplished field resume with the required keywords. Her clients get better jobs, earn promotions, and successfully negotiate higher salaries. She provides a national and global aspect of networking, marketing, interviewing, and negotiating skills. As a human resource business partner with recruiting duties, Jane reduced turnover to 6% for a medical equipment manufacturer in Northern California. She developed great communications with hiring managers and employees and utilized a careful hiring process. Jane has delivered over 10,000 formal coaching hours and completed 150 hours training from the International Coaches Federation. She also holds a Bachelor of Journalism, which was earned from the University of Texas at Austin, where she wrote for the Daily Texan. Jane, we would like to thank you this morning for joining us, and I would like to hand it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. How's your day going? I'm getting ready to share my screen with you. And we've got a nice presentation ready for you. We're going to talk about LinkedIn optimization. Bear with me while I get to that particular screen. And here we go. Now, can everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So good. Let's see. I think I need to get rid of this. So good afternoon again. I'm Jane Chrysler. Today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. And the first slide you're going to see from me is a piece of art from an artist I love from the West Coast. His name is Adam Lisko. And I like to look at art and think about the work that we do and our endeavor to move ahead. And we're all on this pathway. There's a nice little thin line going around the corner. You can't quite see where you're going. There are mountains ahead. There's ocean. There's clouds. But you can't quite see what's on the other side. But we are going in this direction. And I love this picture because it's so vibrant about the life that we have and the life we're looking forward to. Then the scientist in me likes to talk about dendrites. So every time you learn a new word, a little dendrite grows in your brain. So if you haven't heard of dendrites before, and that's the first time you've learned it, you just grew a dendrite. So this is how our brain works, and you can see all these things that grow. They may remind you of plant life, and they may remind you of roots, and this is all in your brain. So let's talk about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And this afternoon, I want to talk to you about, we're going to show some different profiles of people whose profiles I admire. And feel free to ask questions along the way. We will have questions at the end. But the more questions you ask, the smarter I think you are. So make some notes if you're curious about some things that we've talked about so far. Number one, use a professional headshot and get a new one every 2 years. Don't use this kind of picture. Here's a good example. Notice, if you're an artist, you may know that you're not supposed to put anything in the center of the picture. Notice she's not centered. She has great lighting on her face. She looks friendly, professional, and approachable. And I refer my clients to a great headshot photographer here in Houston. It transforms their LinkedIn. You need a LinkedIn headshot. And as I said earlier, every other year, every 2 years, don't use a picture from a long time ago. Make sure it's not a bait and switch picture, that this is a true, authentic picture of your skill sets, of you. Okay, so now be sure to include your contact information. And some of these are some emojis that I'm going to show you. It's going to be part of the handout of my presentation. So you can use some of these emojis. But here I'd like to show this profile of someone I know by the name of Crystal Washington. So let's look at Crystal. I love to show Crystal's profile. Everyone can see it? The reason I do is look at this wonderful blue, electric blue. And she's a speaker. This is a certification as a public speaker. She's a technology strategist. A lot of us are using strategy as part of our titles. But the reason you want to use blue in your background or even wear it in your headshot is because A, it has energy, and B, it's soothing. And so if you watch the news, they always have that electric blue behind them, that French blue, and on the news at 5:30. Again, it keeps your eye focused. It sends energy out to you, and you can be thinking, okay, I'll just zone out while I watch the news tonight. Here, so even though she's not wearing blue, you may notice that LinkedIn uses this blue throughout their process. And so keep that in mind when you're looking at your wardrobe or deciding what to wear for your headshot or any kind of Zoom interview or meeting that you may have. Now,
Hi, just real quick, this is Jennifer. I'm sorry. People are not able to see the LinkedIn example.
oh,
So if you hit share, you should be able to share the browser that you have LinkedIn open in,
let's
and then they'll be
see.
able to see the examples.
Thank you. Let's see.
You're welcome.
Where is share? Hold on. Under WebEx. Bear with me. Oops. Oh, let's try this. Now can you see it?
Yes, now it's visible.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank
So
you.
notice, the contact information, she doesn't make it hard for you to find her. She's got her email address right here. And under contact information, there's her LinkedIn profile, her websites, her phone number, her email, her Twitter account. You want to make it easy for people to find you too. Some of my clients resist putting their phone number, but I don't want you to hide. I want you to make it easy for people to find you. Let's look at some other features of Crystal's profile. Again, here under this About section, and we're going to talk about it in a little while. Phone number, email, some little stars. See these emojis that we're going to look at those and I'll show you how to add them to your LinkedIn profile. And so not only does she have a statement about her, but she talks about the topics that she speaks upon. And then this is also a little laundry list of keywords that will make her easier to find. If someone can't remember her first or last name, they may look for her as Crystal Washington, technology strategy, keynote speaker. So I've used her example on LinkedIn for many of my clients over the years about public speaking, and then her activities, and then a little more about what she does. And this is a woman who's an entrepreneur. Many of us are all about having multiple revenue streams. So she has this role, but she also is an international keynote speaker. And then you can see the other things that she did to get her where she was. She was in hospitality for a long time, and there's where her degree came from. And then she's done some other things along the way to help her be more robust in the marketplace. Okay, going back to hold on a second. Whoops. Here we go. Can you see?
So now we're looking at you. You had your PowerPoint up for just a second and then it went away.
How about oh my goodness. How about this?
Yes, now we're looking at the PowerPoint.
Okay, good, good, good. Thank you everyone for your patience. Now, here we're going to look at my profile. One of the things I like to tell my clients as soon as we get started is how to personalize your LinkedIn URL. So we're going to click on this. I am going to share my screen. Can everyone see? And
Yep.
okay, excellent. So you can see that we're going to see this piece of art later in the program. And I have some headings here as a strategist. I'm also doing some recruiting, resume evolution, and lots of people like to use this up and down bar to separate what's going on with them. And the one thing that I was going to show you is over here on the right is how to edit your public profile and URL. So you can see we can see up here, personalize your URL. And then right here, you can click on the little blue pencil and you'll see the foundation work for LinkedIn. And then you can type in anything you want between 3 and 100 letters or numbers, no spaces, symbols, or special characters. And then it will, if you save it and it's already been taken, it will tell you. So if you have a common name, this is a good time to think about branding, right? You can see my name is Jane Chrysler here. Jane Chrysler for my name. And so I don't change too much about my name because I want everyone to think of me, Jane Chrysler, when they are looking for me. Also, one of the things that is important to know is about your profile's public visibility. Now, when you're working heavily on your LinkedIn profile, you may want to turn this off. And the main reason you do that is because if you're making lots of changes, even though LinkedIn has changed the profile, at one point, if you were making any changes on your LinkedIn, LinkedIn would send a message to all of your connections, and then they congratulate you on having a new job. So you can choose, to leave this on. I leave mine on, and then you can put the basic, or you can choose to put your profile photo up for first degree connections. You can show it for everyone, and I do for all LinkedIn members. And then I don't do it for public, which means that if someone's looking for me through Google or Bing, they might not find me. But here are the things that I prefer to show. My photo, my headline, my summary, the articles I'm writing, all of these things I leave open. I want to also show you, let's see, so I'm leaving this alone. I'm saving that. And I want to go back to my profile to show you something else. Let's see. One of the things that I love to do and I recommend to my clients is I write some featured articles. And if you look at this one, for example, this particular article I wrote 2 weeks ago has been seen by over 3,000 people. And some people have liked it, and some people have commented on it. The story here was about a guy that applied for an IT tech role. He's a junior guy in his 20s, can't wait to move out of the house and wants a job that pays him. And he had a phone screen and he had a second interview, and I recommended he wear a blue shirt. He didn't really need to have a suit, a tie, or a jacket. I think he wore a shirt. And, he did all the things I recommended to him, stood up, sat up straight, both feet on the floor, looked at the camera. He did a great job because we had rehearsed rehearsed his interview. And within an hour, they told him he didn't get the job because his competitor wore a suit and tie. So he was very upset and disappointed. And so lots of people had some feedback on, what to wear. Some people said you need to have a suit and tie. Some people say a shirt is fine. We're all doing Zoom meetings right now, so it depends on the culture. Now, one of the things that he has done since is they called him back. I've been waiting to update this posting. They called him back. He went for a second round for a different job. He now is in line tomorrow for a third round of interviews. So one of the things you can do as part of your job search is be sure to send a thank you note. Even if you didn't get the job, thank them. Because it's happened to me, and it may well happen to my client. I was turned down for a job once, and I said, I'm sorely disappointed. Please keep me in mind for the future. Well, 2 weeks later, they called me and hired me because the other person decided not to take the job. So you never know how decisions are being made or unmade. One of the things I also like to show is, let's see, so we'll go back to the slides. Oops. So we talked about how to personalize your LinkedIn URL. One of the things I'm going to show you is a couple of other profiles of some people that have compelling headlines or compelling websites. It's always good to see what other people are doing. If you're trying to showcase your skills and you know someone that does similar work and you want to do similar work, then look and see what your competitors are doing. So here we go. We're going to look at Sean Fry. We're waiting for that. It's coming, I like to think. My server is, there we go. Let's see, try again. Bear with me. Okay, well, let's try another one. This is the individual. This is a young individual. In fact, this is the one we were talking about earlier who was sorely disappointed when he didn't get the job. I wanted to show you his profile. Yeah.
This is Jennifer again. We're just seeing the gray box.
Okay, how about now?
There you go. Got it.
Okay,
yes,
thank you,
got it.
thank you. So here's Samir. He's a client of mine. He's the one we were talking about on the profile that he had that I wrote a posting about. And I asked him for permission to show his profile because there he is. He's saying a nice headline: dynamic, accomplished cybersecurity and IT professional. I like how it's not blue, but it's purple, and it draws your eye into, his picture draws your eye into the section. And then he has a nice, quick about section: education and proven work ethic, excellent service, industry leader when he worked for Accenture. And so he has lots of things that he's learned on the job, and then he also talks about his degree from the University of Houston. Again, here he is. He doesn't make it hard for you to find him. There's his email address, and there's his phone number. He hasn't really posted anything yet, but it's a great idea to post something. I have a client right now. I'll go back to this. I'm getting the slideshow back up. Let's see. I lost my train of thought, so let's go back to this. Okay, recommendations. Sometimes people are embarrassed to ask for recommendations, but this is a great thing to ask for. You should have a minimum of 3. You should have a minimum of 3 that you give and a minimum of 3 that you get. And I make an effort every year to get 2 or 3 or 4 new ones, so people know that I'm current in the marketplace, that people know what my skill sets are. So think about that for yourself as you move ahead in your career. Now let's talk about the post section a little bit more, about how to write something that will get you a following. I have a client who is an expat living here. He's from Thailand. He worked with airline companies in Thailand, and it was all about parts of the airplanes and recycling parts, repairing parts, saving money. Now, it's been a difficult thing for him to find a job in our country because A, he's not a US citizen, so he can't work for NASA or a government entity. But I said to him, write about what you know. And so he posted something on his LinkedIn with a picture of an engine and some commentary about it. He got some phone calls. So when you're looking for work, think about what you can say to people that might be looking for you, but they might not find, maybe a recruiter might not find. So he got phone calls and he got interviews. He was flown to Phoenix to talk to a group out there. He has continued to explore because he owns and possesses some unique skills in the industry that people need. And what happened was, it wasn't a recruiter that found him on LinkedIn. It was a hiring manager that was probably typing in some keywords to see what he could find. And I found my client. So there are some new opportunities opening up right now. And so think about that. And even if you're not a good writer, sometimes, one of the things I offer is I will write things for you. And this is a great way to get some following, just like I did with the story of Samir. Increase your connections. So there used to be a popular term called LION, Lion, which was a LinkedIn open networker. The goal is to get right over 500. 501 will get you that statement on LinkedIn that says over 500 connections. I have clients that have 9 or 10, and I exhort them frequently to get more connections. And some people want to be very selective about who they connect with. At one point in my career, I kept everybody, I was under 500 because I wanted to tell people, I know this person, I've met this person, I've had lunch with this person, they're a viable resource, and I can refer them to my clients. And I still do that. I do a lot of connecting and introducing people to other talent in the city or even in the nation to help them see that there are other people out there doing what they may want to do. So get to 50 and then get to 75, and don't be willy-nilly about it, and be careful about the connections that you accept. Sometimes a lot of us women noticed when we went to premium, we began to get invitations from a certain kind of man that thought we were beautiful and thought we were pretty, and any man would be happy to have us, and we were so upset. Why did we go to premium and then we got this character approaching us? So if you are staying on the professional end of LinkedIn, and this is a professional social networking site, then don't accept any of those flirtatious efforts. Now, one of the things I recently did is somebody hired me to do some LinkedIn optimization for them because they wanted some social networking. And I bought this book called LinkedIn Optimization, Profile Optimization for Dummies. It's 400 pages. And I have been on LinkedIn since 2006. And I have been reading this with a yellow highlighter, just like I'm in college again, because there's so much information in here that has helped me, helped my clients. But one of these pages in here is the use of Unicode symbols. And so I have 3 pages here on the slideshow of the use of different symbolism. There are stars, arrows, traditional bullets, tick marks. Here's some email. Here's the phone, some icons for phones. There's some different lines that are available for you here. You can see hand gestures, different concepts, financial emojis, medical and pharma. And so you don't want to clutter up your LinkedIn profile with too many of these images, but it can break up your profile. And the 3rd page is more Unicode in terms of formatted text. And what you can do, at least from this, you can cut it and you can paste it and put it into wherever you want it to be in your LinkedIn profile. Okay. So, are there any questions so far? Okay, so now I want to talk to you about some reading that is related to this search, and it's about these are things that I have read along the way that helped me help myself, and have helped some other people as they've evolved. This book is by Barbara Scher, and she wrote this probably in the 80s. And I attended a workshop about this, and it was all kinds of exercises about what you want, what a perfect day is, just some exercises to help you look forward, just like when we were looking at Adam Lisco's picture. These are ways to think carefully about what you want. So one of the questions I ask in my coachings is, how do you want the rest of your work life to look? And so in this exploration, this is something that Barbara did before lots of people started talking about it in terms of coaching. Another book that I like, and this writer and scientist, if you will, or psychologist, is Martin Seligman. And he wrote this book called Authentic Happiness. The University of Pennsylvania offers a master's degree in positive psychology. And it's really great to hear more about it, because now things are happening in terms of emotional intelligence, emotional IQ, and then happiness is a big part of how people are looking at their work and their life. And they even have a certification program. My husband's taking it, and it's a 5-part certification program with lots of exercises and homework to do. And it helps people that if you're thinking about becoming a coach or just coaching yourself, these are ways to look for happiness in your future. Here's a book that I have been recommending for years, because not everybody wants to be an accountant and sit in an office and calculate things all day. The Career Guide for Creative and Unconventional People by Carol Eichelberry. And so if you're thinking about being a chef, a production person in the movies, if you want to be a sommelier, if there's different ways that you want to look at your life and do different things, this is great. Here we have The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki. Some of you may know his name. He was an evangelist with Apple Computer in the early days, but now he's an evangelist for lots of different organizations. And this book, if you're in any way entrepreneurial, is a great compendium of how to make sure you are making great presentations to your audience, especially if you're thinking about a startup. And he talks about slideshows and likes to suggest the black background can be more impactful. And you've seen that today in the work that we've done. And he gives great suggestions on how to present to angel investors that you may want to focus on as you grow. This is by Peter Block. He wrote this book called Flawless Consulting. So again, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, these are some great skills to learn about. When I first started being an entrepreneur, I came across lots of different problems with my employer or contractor, and every example was addressed in Peter's book. Back to this, Designing Your Life. This is a book written by two men out of Stanford. Again, how do you want the rest of your life to look? And I really like this book called Secrets of Great Rainmakers. It's by Jeffrey Fox. And my favorite page that I go to when I'm getting tired at the end of the day, and for me, for example, today I was up at 5:30, and I love to get things done. By 8 o'clock, a lot of work is done, but by the end of the day, I may start to get tired. And one of the things he says in his book, this is chapter 37. It's, oops, let's see. I lost my page. Well, it's about what it means to be passionate about your work. And you can show passion in your LinkedIn profile. And you want to be paid. And so when you're putting your LinkedIn profile together, make sure people see you as a professional. Be persistent when you're working on your LinkedIn profile. Think about how to make sure it gets changed from time to time. It gets updated from time to time, that your background may change, or your postings may change. The other thing that I really like is he says, never let anyone outwork you. And so you can demonstrate those kinds of things on your LinkedIn. But when you're growing your business and when you're trying to grow your network and make people know more about you in a good way, you can ask for a reference, ask for another referral, send one more letter. And as I was indicating, at the end of the day, when I'm like a little tired and ready for my cocktail, I'm like, I think I'll spend a little more time on planning my day for the next day. As I said, send one more letter, send one more email, send one more text, ask for the order, keep knocking on the door, do it again tomorrow. So at this time, I'd like to open the board for questions, and because I may have piqued some interest in terms of the kinds of things I've mentioned. We can go back and look at some LinkedIn sites again, and I am ready for the barrage. How did this help you today? What did you learn that made a difference?
I have somebody asking if we can be unmuted to ask questions. You should be able to unmute yourself, but if you can't, let me know and I can look in the settings to see what's going on.
Let's see. Okay.
Okay, so he says he can't, so I'm going to play around in the settings. But meanwhile, we do have somebody who says that they're worried about adding people on LinkedIn.
Okay. And so let's see. I can definitely answer that question. So I want to ask the question back. It was why are you worried about that? Let's see if I can. And I guess I'm going to guess. Let's see. I'm looking for the unmute button on my screen. I just don't see it. Let's see. Mute.
So one of the questions, the question follow-up is they're worried about people adding just so they can get to people she's connected with, and that reflecting poorly on her. And also worried about scammers.
Thing. And so, and I look carefully at those profiles. And sometimes they may only have 5 connections, or they have a sexy picture, or and so I look carefully at it and I do not accept those. Now, in terms of scamming, as I said, I've been on LinkedIn since 2006. And I've never really had anything come across that I was concerned about. But sometimes what I'm wondering is the question you're asking about, are you embarrassed to ask someone to connect with you? Um, and here's what I'm discovering with my clients is some of them I'll say, you knew people at work 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. If you haven't been in touch with them, they're probably going to be very welcoming to hear from you. And so go look at their profile, invite them to connect, put a personal note. Just don't say connect. Always put a personalized note and get the conversation going. Get them to tell you about what's going on with them, catch up with what you're doing. And people do get jobs that way. People remember you from a time when you worked with them in the past and may remember your work product at the time and are more than willing to consider you for other opportunities. And it does happen. You never know in the job search function where your next job is going to come from, who you'll talk to, who can tell you about someone else who is looking for someone like you. And so continuing to be visible on LinkedIn is really important. The visibility of you and your job search is key too. And it's been a lot more difficult this year it's past year because we haven't been able to go to association meetings or other kinds of events. But anything we have done on Zoom is a good idea, especially when you see all the different people that are in the meeting. You can connect with them on LinkedIn right away and send a note. So I'm going to say it's very safe. I do have people that have privacy issues and will not even have a profile on LinkedIn or will not, they just want to protect themselves. I honor that. But the question really is for you is if you're not on LinkedIn and you're looking for work, you don't exist. And people will also think that you're afraid of technology if you don't have a profile on LinkedIn. Now, there are people like Richard Branson that most likely is a high flyer, so to speak, and he doesn't have a profile. There are some people that don't need it, and there are some people at certain levels of professionalism that do need it. And you never know who will be looking at your profile and think about you for an opportunity. Does it get easier after you get that through that first job hunt? I'm looking at that. Okay. So I see some questions, comments here. So let me see here. I'm sorry, I'm looking at these questions. What? Um, bear with me. I'm sorry, these comments aren't coming through. So I think the question is, does it get easier to find another job after you get the first job? Well, you know what? It's always stressful. Every time you go out to look for a job, you have to update your resume. You have to update your LinkedIn. You have to make sure that you're staying connected with people on LinkedIn. Your network should be consistently being paid attention to. But every time you go through a job hunt, as I said, not just a resume, not just LinkedIn, but how to interview, how to negotiate, how to network, how to make sure you get the most money. I mean, there's all kinds of features in the job search that continue to be a concern as you grow. The best way to be ready for the next job is always be looking, always be in transition. And we are all in transition all the time. You're going to school right now and you're hoping to transition into some other better role, then that's, you're on your way. And the thing is, the thing that's so great about HCC is they're telling you and helping you see what job hunt is like. Um, in reality, if I'm having presenters like myself talk to you.
I have a student who's been waiting to be unmuted, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute him now.
Okay, thank you.
Hello,
Right,
my name is Jesus Canales, and I'm from Northwest HCC.
Uh-huh.
My question was, let's say we hold a position, such as right now, I'm the vice president for Student Government Northwest, but I will be graduating and leaving HCC. Should I still put that information in my LinkedIn, like things that I have done in the past, or should I not?
Oh, yeah. Anything you've done that is meaningful in the marketplace is important to do. If you hold that role, that means that you're giving back to the community and giving back to your school. And that loyalty is an important thing. And you've dedicated lots of time to your school, right? So that's important.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there another question with that? Okay.
May
I'm
I
sorry.
ask another question? I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm still learning about LinkedIn because I saw it that my advisor had it. But would you recommend us sending our LinkedIn to schools that we're applying, such as transfer students? Because some schools that I applied at, they didn't ask us for organizations we were a part of, but
Mhm.
but they sent me like a advising from the admissions an email saying like, thank you so much. We'll review your application. But in order to stand out, how would be the way to provide them with our LinkedIn? That way we can stand out from other students that are also applying. Or
Well,
should we
okay.
even send them our
Huh.
LinkedIn?
That's a good question, Jesus. And I'm not sure I've had that question before, but there's two things I'll say. One is your resume is different from your LinkedIn profile. Your resume might have well, I'm going to say this, your LinkedIn profile is more robust than your resume. And the main reason you want it to be robust is it, as you say, it will indicate lots of things about your talent, your experience, the things that you've done, right? That may not be on your resume. And only one person at a time can look at your resume, but anybody can be looking for you on LinkedIn at any time. So if there's a way that you can put your LinkedIn address in a document to the universities to which you're applying, I think it's a good idea. It's another way to show yourself.
Thank you. I'll definitely start doing that once I create my LinkedIn.
Okay, let's see. I saw a comment come up with someone that just moved to Houston.
Yes,
But
she reposted her question.
and it disappeared in just a second, so I didn't get. And I read fast. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah,
She
she says
moved to
I just
Houston.
moved to Houston
Uh-huh.
and does not
And
have much experience here.
okay, so is the question, how do I get experience?
That's a different question. This one is, could I put the experience I have from my country?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we're a melting pot in Houston. I think 6 out of 10 people are in our city are from other countries or other places. And 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 that's a fantastic thing for you and our city. And your experience and your education from other countries counts. I know that sometimes certain degrees, medical degrees, for example, may not be accepted here. But yes, anything you've done, and think about it as the term of transferable skills. What have you done that can be transferred into another kind of role? And there's so many things that we all do. We talk on the phone, we send emails, we make copies, we attend Zoom meetings. If we're accountants, we work with numbers all the time. People from other countries are very commonly have accounting backgrounds because numbers are numbers around our planet. So think about and Google transferable skills, and that will help you say, okay, what have I done that is equal to what this particular job wants?
And then a different person had a question about how to remain confident despite a lack of experience.
You know, um, hold on to your confidence. You own what you know, right? I used to tell my sons when they were in school and college, I'd say, no one can take your education away from you. Knowing that you have the degrees that you're earning and the certifications that you're earning, you own that. You did that. You chose to do that for yourself. So I encourage you to stay confident and think about the best things about you. You may have to make a list of things. So there are some days when you don't want to get up and you're like, when is it going to happen? How long is it going to take? But I'm going to tell you a story. My husband is taking some coursework, as I mentioned earlier, with Martin Seligman on positive psychology. Now he comes out at cocktail hour because we're both in our offices all day long. And he goes, well, I think we should talk about 3 things that we're grateful for every day. So I'm the coach, and now he's coming down and telling me the same kind of stories. But you own great things, right? Grateful for a roof over your head, that you have dinner on your plate, that you have a car, that you're going to school, that you're growing. You are not done yet. You still have things you want to do, things you want to learn. There's dreams that you want to have come true. And whether that's in work or your personal life, all those things, when you look around and you see what other people have and you want some of that too, you can get it. If you think of something you want to do, I'm sure that it's out there. There are people out there right now, likely wondering where you are. People are needed on the bench of employers. It's a great time to be alive in terms of technology and the changes that we're enduring. But the human aspect, your kindness, your goodness, the humanity that you bring to the table and the talent that you are learning to hone in school is so important. And so stay on. I'll tell you a quick story, just a quick one. When my husband my husband decided he was going to go to the California Culinary Academy to become a chef. And it was just a terrible time because we lived on nothing during that year, but he thought of it and he did it. And today, I still think he's the best chef on the planet. He does things that no one else had. But before that, he was in a job for 15 years that he hated. And he hated it every minute. And I would always go, whatever you want, let's go do it. We'll move here, we'll move there, we'll make it happen. It helps to have support, and it helps to hold on to your dream because it's out there for you. Who else? I know there was
So we have
one.
another question.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. Yeah, go.
We have someone who's majoring in chemical engineering, looking
Ah.
for an emoji that they can place in LinkedIn relating to it. So I think that's more a question of where can people find these cute emojis and icons?
Well, these icons, if you go to look, the ones I'm showing you, for example, they're listed in this book, LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies. And if you go Google the book, LinkedIn Profile Optimization for Dummies, the author is Donna. I didn't put her on my reading list. Donna Serdula, Serdula, Serdula. There may be something online. At the same time, I'm certainly willing to create a one-page document and submit it to HCC, and you can just cut and paste everything. And I don't know if there's anything else out there, like these are emojis that will be taken and you can use on your LinkedIn. Just Google chemical engineering emoji and see what comes up. And maybe you'll get some kind of picture of a chemist or something like that. Good. Look for creative.
And then,
okay, go ahead.
yes, I was saying Creative Commons for things that they have the license to use, because people like to create things and put them out there for other people to use freely.
Yeah, that's good.
So another person asked, may we connect with you on LinkedIn?
Oh, yes, please. Jane Chrysler. I would love to connect with you. I love growing my network. You never know how I can help you or we can help each other. And so, yeah, just make a little note, remember what I said, write a little personalized note that you attended the class today, so I know who you are and can keep you top of mind. Okay, anything else? So here we go. This is another piece of art. This is more soothing, right? We talked about this in the beginning. We looked at Adam Lisko's art and it was more edgy and bright, but I want to tell you that you're going down a hopeful path. It's cool. It's not too hot. This is a Southern artist, but we're pretending today it's a cool day and you're walking down this path. You can't quite see what's ahead. If you need to rest under that tree, you can. If you want to put a blanket down in the shadows and have a think, then please do. But keep in mind that there's room in the world for all of us. You're honing your talent every day, and you're growing in a beautiful way that's going to make you proud of yourself and your family proud of yourself, and you'll just keep on walking because it's out there for you. I want to thank you all so much for your time today and your excellent questions, and I hope to hear from all of you soon.
Thank you. We're going to close this. Dominique is going to talk about student life, and then I'm going to tell you all about some career services presentations that are this week. So Dominique.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Jane, that was a great presentation. Our students definitely appreciate it.
You're
I
welcome.
do see a couple of questions in the chat that I'll answer. So, after every session, usually about, I would say at minimum, up to a week. We usually send out a email and it says thank you for attending today's session, and then we have the playback available there. Because I see some questions about the playback being available. It will be uploaded to our Student Life HTC YouTube channel. So you guys can always check it out there as well, but we will send a direct link to it. I do want to thank all of our HTC Eagles for attending today. Just a couple of things. If you are attending this event for Eagle Points, we will be uploading attendance into the Eagle Experience portal, and it will take about 2 business days for those points to reflect on your profile. Additionally, we do, as with any of our life hacking events, we always have we always do a raffle for our attendees. So once the attendance list becomes available, we will put all of our attendees into a random name chooser, and 3 lucky students will win a $25 e-gift card. So just be on the lookout for your student email for that email. And then lastly, I just have one quick announcement before I pass it back to you, Miss Jennifer. We do have our HCC Smoke Free Committee. They are planning several events, which you guys should have got an email about today, but more specifically, we are asking that faculty, staff, and students take our pledge to make HCC smoke free. And I have dropped the information for that in the chat along with the link to sign up for the t-shirt. Once you take the pledge, we will mail a t-shirt directly to your home. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you, Miss Jennifer.
Thank you. And I think my t-shirt might be waiting for me at the post office, so I'm very excited to see it. Wanted to remind you that next week's Life Hacking, Tuesday, April 13th, is Understanding Your Social and Emotional Intelligence with human performance expert Mike Van Hooser. And I'm putting in the link to sign up for that, but hopefully you've signed up for all of the events when you signed up for the one today. And I also wanted to let you know that Career Services is doing an event to help you prepare for the Career Expo. So HCC Career and Job Placement Services Career Week is a unique 3-day opportunity that runs from today, April 6th, to the 8th, 2021. It's a chance to network with employers, practice your pitch, format your resume, sharpen your interview skills, and prepare for the HCC Virtual Career Fair Expo, Connection to Your Future, which is on April 14th, 2021. To ensure that you're ready for the Career Expo, make sure you attend Career Week starting today and running through Thursday. And I'm putting the link for more information about that in the chat as well. So thank you so much for spending time with us today, and we will see you next week at noon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.